Hi guys, my name is Noor and welcome back to my channel. In today's video I will talk about all the books I recently DNF'd. That means all the books I did not finish. And that means when I read a book and I thought it was boring or I didn't like the book, I just stopped reading it. I don't DNF that many books, but I think it's important for me personally that I do DNF books if I don't like them, because when I was younger, I had the urge to finish a book even though I didn't like it. But then after I finished it, I stopped reading because I was like, that was like such a big task for me to finish that book and I'm not in the mood to read anymore. So that's why for me personally, it is important that I stop reading a book if I don't enjoy it and read a book that I enjoy. That's my tip for you guys. I have 7 books that I DNF'd quite recently. It's in the last couple months, and I'm gonna talk about why I DNF'd them without giving you any spoilers of the book, because sometimes people are interested about those books and want to read those books. So the first book is from Todd, and this might be surprising because the after series of Todd got me into reading. But when I reread the series, I stopped at the second book. In the middle of the second book, I was like, why did I ever like this book? It was my guilty pleasure, and it's so weird to explain, but I still like the books for younger me, but I don't like the books now anymore, because it is about quite a toxic relationship between two college students, and it's quite a toxic relationship. When I listened to the audiobook of the second book as a reread, I was listening and I was not understanding the main character's visions on that boy, and I was like, no, I can't do this anymore. So I stopped reading it, and I didn't really regret stopping it. So Then the second book I DNF'd is Woman in the Window by A.J. Finn. And this may shock a lot of people on BookTube because it's quite a popular book here on BookTube, and they say it's one of the best thrillers they ever read. So I went in with high expectations and I DNF'd it at 80%. But I did want to know what was gonna happen in the end, so I searched it online so I know what the end is. So I know what the book is about and how it ends. I just missed a couple pages, but I DNF'd it. So I did not like the book. It went very slow and it's a bit stereotypical. The woman has some characterizations that they made so stereotypical, you know, like I really don't want to tell you guys what it was because I don't want to spoil you because I don't want to spoil you guys. It's just, I just didn't like this book, but that doesn't mean you wouldn't like this book. I DNF'd it and it was not a fun reading experience reading that book. I'm very sorry to everyone who loves this book. I'm sorry. Then the third book is Deck of Omens by Christine Herman. Well, this book is the sequel to The Divorce in Grey. Okay. So I read The Divorce in Grey and I enjoyed the book. I was not the biggest fan of it, but I quite enjoyed it. But I started reading the sequel and I was not into it anymore. I didn't care about the world and I didn't care about the characters anymore, and I was like, why not just end at the first book and don't read the sequel? If you only read the first book, it's fine. You don't have to read the second book, you know, if it makes any sense. So that's why I decided not to read all the rest of the second book, because I was not interested in it anymore. But that doesn't mean it's a bad series or anything. I just didn't want to read the second book of that series anymore. Then the next book will shock, I think, a lot of people, and that is the series of Stalking Jack the Ripper. I think there are 4 books in this series, and so I started the first book and I did not like it. It went a bit slow for me, it was a bit predictable, and I DNF'd it I think at 60% or something. I did not like it. It was, for me personally, I thought it was a boring story. And it didn't have me intrigued to read any other page anymore. And I know this is a very well loved series on BookTube, and I really wish I could love it, but I tried it twice to read, and yeah, I stopped at the same point, so I decided it's not a series for me. Then my next book is My Oxford Year by Julie Whelan. Well, this is a romance book, and I wanted to give it a chance because I'm like, yeah, a uni student falling in love with a teacher. Gives me Pretty Little Liars vibes. But yeah, it wasn't. I stopped at 50 pages because I was cringing. I thought it was very cliche and it was a bit predictable in my opinion. My best friend, she read the book and she loved it, so you can see like opinions are very different from each other, so yeah. But I didn't like it. Then the next book I did not finish is They Both Die at the End by Adam Silvera. Well, I listened to this audiobook and I stopped around 30%, 40% because it went very slow, and I think it was also not, yeah, I can't say very predictable because the title says what's gonna happen in the end, obviously. But everything in between, I was like, yeah, now this will happen, and I think that will happen, and yeah, and it was slow paced and predictable, and I didn't really enjoy it. Not because it was, like, don't get me wrong, not because it was predictable, like, not because the end is predictable, because I started reading a book that says they both die at the end, but like in the middle it was like so predictable what was gonna happen, what the next move was, and yeah, it was, yeah. I know it's also a very popular book, but I was not very impressed by it. Maybe I will give it another chance in the future, but for now I just put it down and yeah, got into another book. And then the last book is Clockwork Prince by Cassandra Clare. I know these books are very, very popular on BookTube. A lot of people are a big fan of the Mortal Instruments series and all the other series that talks about those worlds. Well, I enjoyed the first 3 books of the Mortal Instruments, and then they said to me you have to read those books like Clockwork Angel, Clockwork Prince and Clockwork Princess before you can read the other 3 books in the Mortal Instruments series. But I think, yeah, it's not really my cup of tea, I guess. Maybe, yeah, it's just not something I enjoyed reading. The first book I've read, but just for the sake of it. And then in the second book I was like, I can't do this anymore. I just don't want to read those series. I might still read the Mortal Instruments, the rest of the Mortal Instruments, but this part of the series I will not read anymore. It doesn't have me interested in reading it, and yeah. I know I will probably hurt a lot of people with saying I don't like these books, because it is quite a weird opinion, because most of the people love the Eternal Devices and don't really like the Mortal Instruments. But I am different. I like the Mortal Instruments, but I don't like the Eternal Devices series, so yeah. I think everyone is different, everyone has different tastes, so that's important to keep in mind watching this video. Okay guys, so these were all the books I did not finish recently. I hope you don't take any opinion personally. I think everyone's opinions are different. You might love a book and I might hate that book, and vice versa, so it is important to keep that in mind. I just want to give you my opinions and why I did not finish a book. So don't take it too serious. So yeah. If you enjoyed this video or want to ask me something else, just put a comment down below, like this video, and if you want to keep updated with new videos, just click on the subscribe button and I would be very happy if you do that. So thank you for watching this video and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!